We can just wait a while.
Let me. Okay, I'm going live also on my YouTube, my Facebook. Thank you for joining.
Use short forms. You don't need to actually use thanks for joining. It'll be more casual.
Yeah. Thank you for joining.
Thanks.
Okay,
Thanks.
both are all live already. We're just waiting for people to come in.
Okay,
Yep.
so this is live. Right, we're live.
Both are all live. Hello, hi, morning. If you have just joined in, welcome to our weekly, start of week SOW.
All right. Okay. Yeah. As we are waiting, then just hang around. Okay.
I need to sit taller a bit because if not, we covered. Just lower a bit.
Recording in
You are-
progress.
Okay.
You are tall enough.
Just make sure we look good.
Yes.
It's okay.
Yep.
Good. Good to go.
Good morning. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers. Good morning, everyone.
Everyone.
Okay. So for those of us who are actually signing in, hey, thanks. And in case if you are wondering, where there are 3 people. Okay. So generally, we've decided to make it a threesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Just while we are waiting, okay. Maybe we let's check hey, Zhong Jie, anything interesting happening lately?
Lately, interesting. I will feel lately not expecting it to rain so much. So I think it's very interesting. It's really quite cold now, I think.
Yeah.
So
It is.
to me, this is something interesting. The weather, very interesting right now.
Yeah, I mean, like today I was just waiting to come out of the house, and then it was raining, and I was like, wow, okay. I wish I actually wear a singlet inside, but okay, you will know whether I wear anything or not. But anyway, yeah. James, anything interesting lately?
Nothing much. I don't know, newfound hobby. Yeah.
Oh,
Like keeping fish. So I wanted to buy what's it called? Is it Jinglongyu is called what in English?
Dragonfish.
Is it dragonfish?
Dragon golden fish.
It's okay. If you know what I'm talking about, right, you can write it in the comment. Jinglongyu, it's called what in English?
Is it Arowana? No.
Oh yeah, correct. It's Arowana. Yes.
Or the
Yeah,
fish
yeah.
that has
Yeah.
that if you look at a certain angle, maybe it's got a word or like a fu or anything at the scales.
No, not that one.
Not that one. That one is Lohan
Yeah,
Yu.
correct.
Correct.
Arowana is the one that's actually long. Their gills generally are golden in color, so it's very quite
Okay.
striking.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
but one question is so how much have you spent on the fish?
I bought a really small one. I think it's about $38.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm trying to,
Wait for it to
wait for it to grow, because I've seen the really large one, right?
Yeah.
The large Arowana, right, can cost a few $100 to a few $1,000s.
Yes.
But of course, I'm not trying to sell the fish. I'm trying to eat it. What?
You want it?
Cannot lah.
I recall cannot. So yeah.
It's okay if you want to actually open do a restaurant.
Oh my goodness! Do you see the look in their face when I say eat it? They are like, eat. $38. I might as well go to Sheng Siong and buy.
So for you guys, if you're actually looking for Arowana recipes, right, and maybe you can check it out with James because his family actually runs a restaurant, right?
Yeah.
But we don't cook Arowana, okay? Hello, hi, morning, Brian, morning.
It could
Sean,
be one of your new recipes.
Morning, Dominic.
Yeah. Hey, maybe you can suggest. It could
Arowana,
be
new menu, is special.
recipe.
Special menu.
Yeah. I mean that's what I've been really into recently, keeping fish, and I like it because it's simple, it's just one fish.
So do you get a tank, a small tank?
I had a small tank, but I think the person, right, is trying to tell me that you need a really large tank to keep that. So I'm just anyway, I've gotten it. I'm just figuring out how to handle it.
Well, I want to share one experience. I've got a friend who actually picked up the whole keeping fish hobby, right?
Yeah.
And just setting up the tank alone, buying the filter, the oxygen pump, and everything, right?
Correct,
yeah.
I'm gonna guess how much it costs all these things to have a decent ecosystem in the tank.
So it can be a few $1,000s.
I think should be 200-300.
That's less. That's what the plastic, the glass tank will cost only.
The glass tank only. Wow. Okay.
I mean, those of you who actually know, I mean, basically it would cost about a few thousand, like what you say. Yeah.
$2,000.
Air filtration system, water filtration system is actually like going to cost like maybe a few $100s, like $500-600 to sell. You get like the tank, which is it can be custom made, and then the cabinet that houses the tank. Yeah, all this lighting, and then like the plants inside. Wow, I mean it's like a mini Lego hobby. You know, when I first saw it, it can be quite addicting as well. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I do keep some I call it those like guppies or what is it, like longkang fish. So catch them from the longkang, then put in the
that already. Then you just
no. As in, if they prior to that probably their like longevity actually don't last so long. But apparently after we add on some like the how do I put it? There's all this like not microorganisms, like something like seaweed, but it be able to grow and able to like provide. So I do have oxygen tank, it's natural oxygen providing them. So apparently they live much longer than I expected. And so I think that it cost me really very little. The most expensive is the bowl. The glass bowl.
It's true.
Okay, good. Let's come back to the topic. Because while we are waiting for everybody to come in, right? We're just having a chat this morning, and then why don't we start the start of the week?
All right. Okay. So welcome again, guys. Okay. We are the start of the week and the week of 24th of August. Okay. If you have missed us for 1 week, great. You know, now you see us again. If you don't miss us, great. We are reminding you again to come and miss us. Okay. And then nevertheless, thanks for joining us. Okay. So we're gonna pick up on some maybe hot topics today, as usual. So guys, any topic that you think caught your eye in particular for today that we can actually just catch up on?
So I've indicated, right, that once bitten, twice shy, you know, and this is going to be one of the topics that we want to talk about, because we've been talking about insurance, you know, protection for so long, you know, but then so I'm just curious, you know, like once bitten, twice shy, is there any failed investment that you guys have invested in, you know, and then let's talk about, you know, that failed investment and some of our learning points.
So it's more of like, let's talk about our 处事.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Maybe I'll just talk. Well, I mean, it was quite long ago, guys. You know, I'm not sure whether you know about all these high yield profits. That I first made and lost. So there was this, and usually you don't really pick it up from any Tom, Dick, and Harry investment. I mean, it's usually some friend comes along and says, "Hey, Gears, you know, I've got this good deal, and you just need to put like a few $100 or even like $1,000." Back then, I was just still young, right? I mean, don't have much money, but if $1,000 can give me like, you know, $2,000-3,000 after that, then that sounds great, lah. So I actually put in all these things. Initially, a few rounds, it paid off dividends. I didn't take out, you know, because I was greedy, because I wanted to earn more. But in the end, actually, you know, now the whole capital also gone. But the funny thing is that it didn't really scare me. I made a few rounds of that as well, and it's always all this like, you know, unregulated, you know, by word of mouth. You invest, and then eventually the money just go past.
Okay.
So that is more of like my unregulated
investment experience.
Correct. So if you ask me these kind of things now, I'll probably think twice, and I'll probably say it's like, "Hey, thanks, bro," and go ahead. You know?
Okay.
Dongjie,
how about you?
For myself, I do have like bad experience as well in terms of investing. That was in my earlier days, back in my uni days. Yes, similarly, I do not have a lot of money, so I do put into some money into some local stocks that actually they do give dividends, and after a while dividend payout is still all right, but I think one of the consideration is when I buy in the price, I didn't really look into like how is this company doing. So after a few like payout of the dividend, probably a few years later, I think when I
at least about a few years later, you know,
a few years. Okay, yes, mine is a few years later when I'm like short of cash and I have some cash flow issues that I require, so I have to sell it at a loss as well. So all in all, actually, I've made a loss in that investment as well. So it's a bad experience in terms of investing without a proper plan what I'm going to do as well, especially allocation. Those are not my assess funds. Those are the funds that I feel that if I can grow, being like greedy as well. So I just try it out.
How much have you lost, you know, in that investment?
I won't want to put it into an absolute figure because figure wise will not be that accurate. In terms of percentages, I lost around like 20-30% is still okay.
20 to 30%.
30%.
Still okay, you stay still
capital
okay
amount.
lah. So it's actually still
Because not like yours now, as compared to yours, it's all zero. So I feel mine is 20-30%. I think
Yeah.
After hearing your story, thank you for sharing your story. So
my recent one,
I'm more
my latest one,
concerned.
the latest one that I did, this kind of unregulated one is like 15K. It just bye-bye.
So 100% loss.
Yeah, lost.
Okay.
100% loss.
Yeah.
So I think thanks for consoling me.
Okay, but of course, like 15K maybe to some of our listeners here, probably it's like you probably have lost a little bit more. I mean, if you don't mind, just text, and see and just see how much we've gotten in terms of like people have lost in such unregulated investments lah.
Yeah, that's a good one. So how much have you lost in your investment? Just type below, so that we know exactly how much you have lost in your investment. So
so
it can be in terms of figures or
percentages
also.
percentages. Like 10K, some people about 50K. Yeah. Okay.
For me, I've got two very bad experience. One is a stocks, come on, man, I can't even remember the stocks. I'm still holding on to it. It was recommended by a RM, in the bank. I remember this company basically builds tugboats for rigs. Okay. So the share has gone down. I easily lost about 80 to 90% of the value that I put in. I lost about easily $30,000+ from that particular stock. So I did 2-3 purchases because the price went up, and then after that, that price just came down. I think it is now barely less than 10 cents, if I remember correctly. I'm still holding on to it. Big paper loss. I also don't know what I'm going to do to that. The other investment, so that one is Singapore stocks. Yeah, the other one is FX currency. So that was about $20,000 gone. Initially, I mean, to me, FX is really like speculative gambling. I had my taste of it. It is not easy. So I betted on the wrong one, and it was on margin, and I had a big major loss on that.
I think this is a good example of someone who's already paper loss. Like you bought it at $1, now 10 cents, or even 50 cents, and then now 10 cents. So and you're stuck with it. Something like James. Okay, if you're in the same position, maybe you can just text, what your plans are, and we can actually learn something from you as well, right? So I mean, like, let's say for our listeners here today, if they're stuck in a similar position like you, okay, paper loss, like huge loss, do what?
I mean, for me, if I were to do it again, right? I mean, if I were to do it again, there's two things that I will definitely be doing, because I told you, right? I basically invested because of greed, and then when the price went higher, I chased the price. What I would have done differently is that I would have taken the earlier profit first.
Okay.
So I think taking emotion out of the equation, right? I think when there's profits, I should really think about realizing that profit first. Second thing that I would probably do is that instead of investing, based on the advice of the relationship manager, the relationship manager call me and tell me that this is a good stock to buy, and I end up putting in my money into it. I would have done my research better. I mean,
but at that point of time, you also didn't know lah.
Yeah, correct. So which also means that nowadays, right, anyone who asks me to invest, anyone who asks me to do any some form of investment, right, I want to do my proper due diligence first. At least I must understand the thing. I must know what it's doing. Then before I put my money in.
Just curious. Do you still keep in contact with the RM?
The RM has left. There's a new RM, but occasionally they will still tell you to buy this, buy that. But I'm not onto that yet, lah.
You never call back the RM and ask him like, hey, what should you do now?
Don't know where she went to.
Never know. Maybe you bump into her in other banks.
So for our guys, listeners here again, like if you have made or you're actually stuck in a position that's not favorable or even paper loss, I think we feel you first of all, and of course, like wanting to do is really what's the moving forward position or options right? You may actually want to if you have been holding it for many years and if you read the articles, the news, and if you sense that this is a particular stock or particular holding that is probably after waiting so long still no change, maybe you should do something. or you should write it off, for example. Yeah, because certain funds or even certain stocks actually really have been delisted if they actually you
Yes.
invested in the stocks exchange, right?
That's true.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, we've got some maybe some question is that so for you guys, like now what do you think is something that you would want to look forward to in terms of like investing and based on your past experience lah, moving forward?
For me, definitely, I think first and foremost it will be have a plan involved, like what is this investment is supposed to be, to have a goal for this investment. And secondly,
this is our Zhong Jie who always has the plans on. Yeah, just in case you don't know. Yes.
Well, okay, yeah. Next one is more towards in terms of allocation, to diversify rather than just being singly focused into probably, let's say, like certain company or certain country itself as well. So it can be more diversified, I think.
Okay. So what do you usually do in this case, apart from like this is your strategy, right? So Zhong Jie, I mean, just for our listeners, like a little bit more of a application, or like maybe go into some details.
For myself, I do invest into like unit trust, so into regions rather than just specifically to like a certain single country itself.
Okay.
And also in terms of allocation. So example, let's say if I invest into like US. So example, okay. Anyway, there's no investment advice here. So this example, this is about my own experience. Even if I invest into US, so it's only a certain percentage of my whole portfolio. So it will not be heavily exposed. So this is one of the asset allocation that I'm talking about. Yeah.
Okay.
Then for me, right, I mean, judging from my previous experience of lump sum, right, nowadays I don't really do so much of a lump sum investment. For me is I really go on the dollar cost averaging. Again, while I have made investment losses, but I've also got investment that brings me really good returns. I've got a fund that invests. I think the fund basically cover Asia. And then that fund basically gave me about 40% returns since the day I put in. That was like maybe 7, 8, 9 years ago. I can't remember how long was it. 40% return
total per year or
today.
Okay.
So it should be around 5-6%.
Yeah, every per annum. So about that. The return was fantastic. Yeah. So and what I did was so simple. I didn't really do much. I just do a $200 investment into that fund every single month. Yeah, and then I think every one of you know what dollar cost averaging is, and I basically use that as a dollar cost average.
So for our listeners, if let's say you do not know what dollar cost averaging, go and Google it. No time to talk to you about it. All right.
And then the other one that I did was recently. That one was 7, 8 years ago. But there was a recent one that I did earlier this year. I went into Bitcoin. I went into cryptocurrency. Of course, I used Binance as a platform, and then what I did was again, it was $150 every single month into the currency that I want, and I just buy it in regularly. That's all. So I bought. So I think to date the prices, I think I still made slight returns on the investment. A reason is because I bought Bitcoin, and I think I bought it at 52. And then 40 plus, 30 plus, I bought it at 28,000 also. And then on average, I think slight returns on that.
That's good. Yeah. Okay. Maybe so in this case, each of us have different experiences and how to actually take or like approach your own investment. Last question, guys. Okay. So let's say now some markets have actually increased, right? Like say like 40%. Some people like maybe made some profit, right? Okay. What should you do? Okay, what do you think? Should we take profit now, or actually, let it grow again?
For me, I will actually seek opportunity to, instead of just getting it as a paper gain, I'll use whatever the amount of gain that I have to seek opportunity to cash it or reallocate the gains to somewhere else, whereby I do have exposure. Whereby instead of holding, example like A and B fund, I'm trying to get my gains to actually have exposure to like C and D funds, so that there will be more diversified while actually having exposure using my gains. So that's how I do it.
Okay. So that means like to take your profit and then to increase your holdings lah.
Yes, increase holding different exposure.
Okay. All right. Yes. That's something that you can consider. If you're thinking about it. James, any thoughts?
My one is a little bit more simpler. I know every time when I do a review when there's profit, I will basically encash it out, and then for me is I'm not looking at paper gain. I'm really looking at the money that comes into my bank account. I don't know. I think that resonates well with a lot of consumers as well. It's really that money that comes into the bank account. I mean, again, this is judging from my previous experience of paper loss, big losses, and all this. You know, so for me right now is I just want to see that gain. You know, so
spend it first, okay. Then whatever that's left behind, then
I mean, I don't really spend it, but just that I cash out that profit. I put it into into a separate saving account, and I know that okay, this is my profit, you know. And but of course, I don't cash it out every month, you know. So every time when I do a review, it can be 6 months, it can be 1 year. It really depends on how long I did a review. Like the funds, right, that I invested in 7-8 years ago, I've never touched it for maybe 5 years. I only revisited it again when there was a major crisis. And then I start checking out the funds, just to make sure that it's okay. But then for my Bitcoin, it's a different strategy. Bitcoin, I check on it almost every now and then just to make sure that the investment is running properly.
Hey, I picked up on that, guys. If you realize that what James is sharing is that whatever profits that he makes, he cashes it out and he puts into a different savings account. I think that's a good idea, because then you'll be able to literally see how much profits. It's like a profits account. So if you feel that is something that resonates with you as well, and then go and check it out, and maybe in your post next month or anything, just let us know how it goes, and we would love to actually hear this idea from you. So okay, that's all from us, guys. I hope you've enjoyed our session. Okay, it's just talking about our experience of being bitten, okay.
Once bitten, twice shy.
Once bitten, twice shy, and that's all. Okay, SOW. Okay, if you like our session again, okay, please check us out. Check us out at the Facebook or Instagram handle, or even our podcast. Okay, and find out and leave a comment. And I'll see you next week. Have a good week ahead. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.